If you are using AI agents but you don't know how APIs are working or you don't know what API is, don't worry, I was exactly like you. But once I could read the API documentation and I understand how the APIs are working, I was able to bring more tools to my AI agents and expand them and scale them and get better results. So in this video, I'm going to show you what are exactly APIs and how we can understand them and use them inside our AI agents workflows. So here is an example. Just imagine that you go to a restaurant and you want to order something. First of all, you don't go to a restaurant and you order a bicycle. So there's an instructions there as a menu. So when you go to the restaurant, you know exactly what you can order. So just think of the menu as an API documentation. So first you read the menu and understand what are your options inside the restaurant. And then you cannot just go directly to the kitchen and just order by yourself. The first thing you have to do is actually to call a waiter, and the waiter is actually coming to you, getting your orders and take your orders to the kitchen, and then the kitchen will prepare the food for you and then they will send it to your table. So if we pretend that the menu is our API document and then we need to call the waiter, so exactly here the waiter is the API. So we will call the waiter, we will give our order to the waiter, then the waiter takes the order to the kitchen, and the kitchen will see our order and understand what food we need. So for example, here we ordered the pizza, so they understand that we need to get a pizza. They will make the pizza ready and then they will give it to the waiter, and the waiter will give our order to us. So this is exactly how API works. We want something from the service, but first we need to understand how we can ask our request from that service, and then we need to call their APIs and give our order to the API, and then the API will take our order to the server, and the server will put the information inside our order and send it back to the API, and the API will take the order back to us, and then we will be able to see our order or our results. So now let's see that how we can use APIs inside n8n. So inside n8n, imagine that we want to give some tools to our AI agent to work with. So imagine that without knowing how to using API, we are only able to use the tools that are built inside n8n, and we cannot really expand our workflows. But if we know how to work with APIs and we know how to send requests to other services, we will be able to go further, and we can use basically any application on any services that they have API documentation, and we can use them. So if you stay until the end of this video, you will learn how you can use n8n with APIs, and then you will see that the possibilities are endless, and pretty much you can use any tools that are not built inside n8n and scale your AI agents and your workflows inside n8n. And we have our AI agent, which has a OpenAI chat model as a brain. So now I can talk to my AI agent, and right now I want to add another tool to our AI agent, basically a tool that it gives the ability to our AI agent to search the web, and it can find some information inside the web based on our message or our question. So if you click tool, you always see the list of tools that are already built inside n8n, and you will be able to only use these tools inside n8n. But if you cannot find the tool that you want to use inside this list, all we can do is actually to use the API or HTTP request node. So here, if you write HTTP, you will see that here we can use an HTTP request as a tool. So if you click here, it will bring us to this page, and don't worry, I will show you step by step how you can configure this HTTP request, and I'll show you how you can read the API documentation so you can send basically any request to any server that you want. But as I said, remember, the only time that we use HTTP request is the time that we cannot find the tool inside the n8n. So right now, let me actually remove this again. So right now, the tool that I want to give to my AI agent is actually Perplexity. If you don't know what Perplexity is, basically it is same as ChatGPT, but it is more powerful in terms of searching the web for us. So right now, I want to give this tool to my AI agent, and as you can see, if I click tool, and here if I write Perplexity, we don't have this tool built inside n8n yet. But what we can do, actually, they have API documentation, and we can use the HTTP request to send the data to Perplexity API and get the information for our AI agent inside our workflow. So here I'm gonna write HTTP request tool, and here we need to configure the HTTP request. So here, as you can see, we can choose our method, we can choose our URL endpoint. Basically, this is the address that we want to send information, the server address. The authentication is to authorize ourselves with our API keys. Here, as you can see, we are sending some information, and these information are query parameters, send headers, and send body. These are the three main informations that we are sending. But don't worry, we don't need to actually configure everything here manually. So before that, let's jump inside Perplexity and check for their API documentation and see what information exactly we can send to them. So if you go to perplexity.ai and if you click on API, it will take you to this page. From here, you can go to developer docs. And here you can go to API reference. It says that integrate the API into your workflows. This is exactly what we want. So here they have all the necessary documentation in order for us to send the request from anywhere to their server. And the good thing is that nowadays almost all the platform and applications, they have this API documentation where you can read them and understand what exactly you need to send. And another thing is that they have in different languages that you can send this request. But here the most important thing is that they have the curl command. So the curl command is actually this line of codes that we can easily copy them and go back to our n8n, and from here you see that it says import curl. If you click here and if you paste that command here, and if you import it inside your node, it will automatically populate every field, so we don't have to do it manually, but still we need to change a little bit something inside this code, and I'm going to show you now. So now that we have imported our code, you see that the method has been changed to post. We have the URL endpoint. This is the address that we are sending our request to. We have we are sending headers. Here we are sending the body, and we have this JSON code here, and we can change it the way how we want. So let's go back to the documentation and see what exactly we are sending. So if you scroll down, you see that some fields are always required, and we always have to send those fields along with our data. So the authorization is always required, the body it is required, and the message also it is required. So we also have another fields: max token, temperature, top P, search domain filter, return images. These are the other parameters that we can also tweak and send it to Perplexity, but they are not always required, and in this video I'm not covering them. We are not using this. We are only focusing on the main thing. So here on the right side you see that the request is post. We are sending a post request. This is the address and the header. The header is actually always our authorization. So we need to authorize ourselves that we are the right person that using our API key. For the authorization, we are sending a name as authorization, and for the value we are sending bearer, and here we have space, and then we put our token key. I'm going to show you inside n8n. And here we have another header, which is a content type, and it is always as application/JSON. And here actually this is the body that we are sending, so we can choose the model, which model of Perplexity we can use. Here under the message we can put our messages like a system message or role message. Okay, let's go back to our n8n and configure our node here. So we are sending a method as a post, and this is the URL, it is fine. And here under the headers, you remember for the headers we have to send a name as authorization, and for the value we need to send bearer token. So we need to have our token from Perplexity. So go to the Perplexity, and from here if you click on account you can go to the settings, and under settings you can go to API keys, and from here you can create as many as API key for yourself. So here I'm going to use this one. I'm going to copy it, go back to our n8n, and here we need to actually remove this one and keep the space after the word bearer and put your API key here. So let me open this so you can better see this. So here we have bearer, space, and our API key. So this is our authorization. So for the body, we are as the model we are using Sonar, And the system message for Perplexity, it is be precise and concise. And as a user message, basically this is our message that we are sending. Right now on default, it is how many stars are there in our galaxy. So let's quickly test this and see if we get some data back. So if I click test, we should be able to see the data right here. There you go. You see that we got the data here back to our workflow, and it basically searched the web based on this question, and it returned us the message. So it says that the estimated number of stars in our galaxy in the Milky Way generally falls in the range about 100 billion to 400 billion stars, and so on. So now that the API or HTTP request is working, it is the time for us to change these parameters based on how we are talking to our AI agent. Alright, so now let's say that we want to talk to our AI agent and tell him that, hey, go search the web based on this keyword, or we want to give the topic to our AI agent and tell him to search the web using this HTTP request tool. So the first thing we need to do is actually open this HTTP request, and here in the JSON body it says the message to send to Perplexity is always on how many stars are there in our galaxy, but it means that every time that we send the request, our search term will be this. We obviously don't want this, so we need to change it. So the first thing we need to do is actually to change from fixed to expression, so we can use placeholder in our JSON body. Click here to open it, and you see that here it says how many stars. We need to basically change this. So I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna open curly braces, double, and I'm gonna put $sign from AI. So this basically refers to our AI agent and lets the AI agent to put whatever he thinks the best inside this value. So right now we are using from AI, and here I'm gonna put our search term, the search term that we give to our AI agent here. So I'm gonna put double quotation, and I'm gonna write search term. So this means that our AI agent will define a search term and will put the search term here, and will send this information to Perplexity. So now that we have configured this, we need to also change this to web search for our AI agent to better understand what tool he has. We can rename this, and before we go and test it, there is one more thing I can show you here, that right now we are sending the headers or our authorization here, but every time we need to configure it manually and come here and put this code here. But there is another way which we can save our API keys, and we don't have to manually put it here and send it. So copy this one, and here under authentication, and here under the authentication tab, you need to choose generic credential type. And here we have different authentication, but the one we want to use is header, because we know that we are sending a header parameters for our API key. So go ahead and choose header, and here you need to create a new one if you haven't already. So click on create new credentials, and here for the value we need to put the word bearer space with our API key, and for the name it is authorization. It is exactly how it is written here in the command. So you see that the header authorization name, we need to copy this and also put this one here and save it. So once you save it, you can close this and you can turn off the header, because we don't want to send the header twice. We are already sending the header from here. You can turn it off from here, and we are good to go. So if we go back to our workflow, click save. Let me open the chat, and here I'm gonna say search the web about AI agents. So I'm gonna send it, and you see that the agent using the brain and now using the HTTP request tool and sending the data to the Perplexity to search the web based on our keyword or AI agent, and it will return us the result. So let's open here, and you see that the result that it is written to us is AI agents are autonomous software system that leverage artificial intelligence to perform, and so on. So this is exactly how HTTP request is working. So if you open here, you can also see that we send the data to Perplexity using our API keys and their API documentation, and we could get the content, and basically we could get the result for our search term using this JSON body or parameter. That's it for this video, guys. You see how easy and important it is to read the documentation for the API and always understand how we can send the data to the servers or services that are not built inside our n8n or anywhere inside another platform or workflow. If you want to learn more about APIs and AI agents and want to deep dive into this topic, you can always go to my WAP community. The link to it is down in the description. Here we have a like-minded community of people that are learning about workflows, AI agents, making powerful automations. We have a free and we have a paid one. Here is written all the access that you get once joining our community. Once again, thank you so much. Made it so far watching this video, and if you liked it and if you found value, definitely give it a like. It will help me to show this video to more people. And if you have any questions, just let me know down in the comment section. I'll be reading them and answering them as soon as possible, and I'll see you in the next video.